Hey guys, this is Barry with FS 100 Challenge, and I am coming to you today from my brother's coolest man cave in the whole history of the world. He's a Marine. You look around, you'll see some leatherneck stuff. He-Man tractor, woman hater right there. Awesome tractor. Hey, today I want to talk to you about deleting disrespect. I have never met a man in all my life who wants to be or likes to be disrespected. Now, disrespect comes in all forms and fashions, and it comes to us in different ways. Verbal, nonverbal, body language, unintentional, intentional, with amount of meanness or challenge with it. Either way, there is no man I know that enjoys disrespect. In fact, I believe it flips a trigger in him that causes several things to happen. One of those things is a real fast run in just a matter of a second and a half, how fast we as men react when we're disrespected. We almost always go into a fight mode, like we do not like it. Now, if we're not a strong guy, we're gonna fly away, or we're gonna freeze, or we're gonna fawn and fall all over ourselves to do whatever's expected of us. But I don't know any man that likes disrespect. So today, I want to talk to you about deleting disrespect altogether. Now, let's talk about the motive behind disrespect. Most people don't realize that the level of disrespect, or the level, what their mark is, what their threshold mark is for disrespect. I don't know what your threshold mark is for disrespect. You don't know what mine is. And depending on the day of our tiredness, weariness, rest, strength, what's going on, then we will have a different threshold, unless we're super strong, disciplined guys, whereby we will not let a little bit of disrespect throw us off key. But there's another piece to this. There's another piece of, before we who are strong and we who respond quickly, we have to pause that. And we have to not fall back to future patterns where we would answer disrespect with force. And I find that a lot when I'm coaching guys, young men, old men, middle-aged guys, even some of the guys I mentor. And there's a difference between coaching and mentoring. But some of the guys coaching and mentees do not like disrespect, and they all respond in a different way. But there's a motive behind why people disrespect you. There's a motive behind why we sometimes disrespect others. I make it a point in my life never to be disrespectful. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I don't like it, and I don't want to be disrespected, so I don't disrespect anybody. Again, not perfect, but that is my goal, my plan. But when we're checking the motives of why somebody disrespects us, we have to be patient, slow, have mercy, have wisdom. And then we've got to watch for patterns, because if somebody is a patterned disrespecter, then we have to begin to ask questions about them in our relationship with them. Because I will tell you, disrespect is a sign of immaturity, irresponsibility, and if you're a people watcher like me, you'll begin to see in them why they disrespect, and almost always it leads to an immature man, an immature woman. Kids are a different thing. However, nobody likes disrespect. I want to give you one thing in how to delete disrespect. And if your lady disrespects you, there's a lot of questions you have to ask yourself. Those questions are in the PDF. Download it and look at it. Use it for a week. Let me talk to ladies. Ladies, there are a lot of women who watch and connected to FatherSeekers because they are married to a fatherless guy. And they perhaps grew up in a great home, or they themselves grew up in a fatherless home. Either way, ma'am, if you want to win your husband's heart. And I'm not saying allow abuse, verbal, emotional, mental, or physical. I'm not saying that. But if you want to change the course of your husband's life, if you want to change so that you don't have to disrespect him to get his attention, if you want to change the course of his life, your marriage, your life, your kids' lives, and have a wonderful future together, then I want you to take this one principle, put it into play. Here it is. Speak to the king, you get a king. Speak to the boy, you get a boy. And if he's traumatized, you're going to get a traumatized boy. Now, it's not the first time or the second time or the third time. It is a continuous response pattern. If you want a king, speak to the king. Now, I'm not talking about being a suck up or being a doormat. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being a wise woman. And if you, ma'am, grew up without a dad, then your husband needs to speak to you like a queen. And your response, more times than not, as I've heard in sessions with friends and mentees and guys I coach, is that they generally marry women who have been in some way abused or grew up without a dad. And those ladies don't know how to be treated like a queen. So we guys are responsible to set the culture and the atmosphere in our home. How do we do that? We speak to our wives as though they are queens. You speak to the girl, you'll get a traumatized girl. And I will say this, the old adage, hell hath no fury like a woman who's been abused or traumatized. I added those last couple things there. But if we love our wives like Christ loves the church, and we love them, and we are calling ourselves men of God, we have to begin to love them through their trauma. Their response much of the time is based on the trauma that they've experienced. And we don't want to be the guys to trigger them or to cause them to flip. And I would say to you again, sir, if you have to teach your wife to speak to the king and not the boy, then work on that. Work it out. Delete disrespect. Hey, this is Barry with FatherSeekers. This is the FS 100 Challenge, building the discipline for spiritual, emotional, and mental growth. And physical, don't forget that. All right, man. Hang tight. Keep going. See you next week.